This video is sponsored by Incogni. Stay tuned to find out more. Paleontology, the study of dinosaurs, fossils, and things that are just old. That's what today's video is going to be about, the paleontology iceberg explained. And although you may think this video topic idea for an iceberg may be kind of boring, it's not. Trust me, this iceberg is one of my favorites I've made, and I'm pretty sure everyone in their childhood was obsessed with dinosaurs at some point, so this video was kind of a lot of fun to make for me, and I'm sure it'll be fun for you to watch. And I just hope you enjoy it as much as I did, and alright, without further ado, let's dig into the paleontology iceberg explained. And also, before we dive into the full video, consider subscribing to the channel. It's the channel's goal to be at 250,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so consider subscribing to help us reach that goal. Also, a lot of my videos have been getting demonetized lately for various different reasons, so consider becoming a channel member for just 99 cents to help out the channel in times when a lot of my videos are getting demonetized. Alright. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Tier 1. Reptilian dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were a diverse group of reptiles that appeared during the Mesozoic era, which spanned from about 252 million years ago to about 66 million years ago. In paleontological terms, dinosaurs were a specific group of reptiles that included various different species with different characteristics. They were part of the Archosaur clade, which also includes crocodiles and birds into the reptilian dinosaur kind of umbrella. Dinosaurs can be further classified into two main groups: Sorsicaria, which is lizard-hipped dinosaurs, and Ornithischia, which is bird-hipped. And alright, that was just kind of an intro into most general dinosaur terms because most dinosaurs are reptilian, and yeah, that was just a quick brief overview. The media. And quickly, before we start, let me tell you about our video sponsor, Incogni.
If you have an email, mobile number, or home address, chances are that data has been stored on the internet somewhere. This data can be accessed by data brokers and used to robocall you, commit fraud, or even result in price increases, such as health insurance. Luckily, our sponsor Incogni is here to help. Incogni reaches out to data brokers on your behalf, requests your personal data removal, and deals with any objections from their side. But that's not all. They perform repeat removal requests to ensure your data doesn't end up returning on these lists, putting a stop to annoying spam calls and emails and reducing the risk of your data ending up in the wrong hands. They are currently offering 60% off their annual plan when you use code SNOOK, SNOOK. Click the link in the description to claim. Now, back to the video.
Tier 2. And yeah, Tier 1 was pretty quick, but that was just going over the main things of dinosaurs that most people know. And so now on to more unknown things briefly. Alright, the feathered dinosaurs. The discovery of feathered dinosaurs has significantly altered our understanding of these ancient creatures of dinosaurs. While the popular image of dinosaurs used to be scaly and reptilian looking, it is now recognized that many dinosaur species actually had feathers, kind of like big chickens. Feathers likely evolved in dinosaurs for various different reasons, including insulation for cold, display, and possibly even limited flight. Many of the feathered dinosaurs belong to the theropod group, which includes famous species like the Velociraptor and the Tyrannosaurus rex. The first feathered dinosaur fossils were discovered in the 1990s in Liaoning province, China. These fossils come from the early Cretaceous period and include species like the Sensoriopodix and the Propariocodex. Some feathered dinosaurs had features that were similar to birds, such as wishbones and feathered forelimbs for brief flight. The discovery of the Archaeopteryx, a feathered dinosaur with bird-like features, provided a crucial link between dinosaurs and birds. Feathers in dinosaurs were not limited to flight feathers. They came in various different forms, including simple flaminea-like structures and more complex branching feathers. The presence of feathers in some dinosaurs has led to scientists to theorize that flight may have evolved from small, feathered dinosaurs. While not all feathered dinosaurs could fly, this adaptation likely played a role in the evolution of flight in some lineages. As paleontological research continues, new feathered dinosaur discoveries are made, contributing to our understanding of the diversity of dinosaurs in general and how they probably looked a lot different than we think they did. Loch Ness monster was a plesiosaur. The Loch Ness monster, often referred to as Nessie, is a legendary creature and cryptid said to inhabit Scotland's Loch Ness, captivating the public's imagination for decades. One theory proposes that Nessie is actually a surviving plesiosaur, a group of marine reptiles that coexisted with dinosaurs but became extinct around 66 million years ago. However, this idea encounters significant challenges when scrutinized by scientific standards. Loch Ness is a freshwater lake, with environmental conditions vastly different from the marine habitats where plesiosaurs thrived. And I know some of you guys don't like when I just kind of discredit the theories of certain cryptids and stuff like that, but this kind of is the entire thing, so I'll just go ahead and state why it probably isn't a plesiosaur and it's made up. But anyways, plesiosaurs were adapted to saltwater environments, so they obviously couldn't have lived in the freshwater lake of Loch Ness, and their extinction coincided with the end of the Cretaceous period. Moreover, the survival of a population of air-breathing reptiles in a confined freshwater lake facing challenges such as food sources and adapting to new conditions raises skepticism. Numerous investigations and searches have been conducted at Loch Ness, but no conclusive evidence supporting the existence of a plesiosaur-like dinosaur has ever been found in Loch Ness or anywhere in the world. The Loch Ness monster legend likely stems just from a combination of cultural folklore, eyewitness accounts, and just occasional hoaxes. While Nessie continues to be a subject of fascination and mystery just for the entire population, the scientific community generally regards the plesiosaur theory as just a speculative and lacking empirical support. Jurassic Park inaccuracies. Jurassic Park, an amazing movie made by Steven Spielberg, was just a great movie. Even if you like dinosaurs or not, it's just a very good movie. Although the movie does have a lot of scientific inaccuracies, abound in both the novel and the movie. Central to the plot is the idea of extracting dinosaur DNA from ancient mosquitoes preserved in amber. While this concept drives the narrative, the reality of DNA degradation over millions of years makes it an impractical method of cloning. Additionally, the portrayal of dinosaurs without feathers, particularly the velociraptors, reflects the scientific understanding of the time and how they didn't even know they had feathers, most likely. Since then, evidence has emerged suggesting that some theropod dinosaurs likely had feathers, how we talked about earlier. The depiction of dinosaur behavior in the film is also speculative, especially the intelligence and pack hunting behaviors assigned to the velociraptors. The coexistence of dinosaurs from different geological periods in the park, such as the velociraptor and the Tyrannosaurus rex, diverges from the reality that these species lived in distinct times and regions. The Dilophosaurus is another example of fictionalization, as the actual dinosaur was much larger and didn't have the ability to venom spit and frill expanding abilities portrayed in the film. The film's portrayal of genetic engineering oversimplifies the complexity and time required for modifying such organisms. Moreover, the notion that the T-Rex's vision is based on movement lacks any other scientific foundation, as the actual vision of Tyrannosaurus rex was likely very good. While Jurassic Park is a great movie, it does have some inaccuracies, but honestly, who cares? It's a good movie anyways, even if it isn't completely scientific accurate to how dinosaurs were. Tier 3. Mokele-mbembe. Mokele-mbembe is a mythical creature or cryptid that is said to inhabit the waters of the Congo River Basin in Central Africa, particularly in the Republic of Congo and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The name of Mokele-mbembe is derived from the Lingala language, from Mokele meaning one who stops the flow of rivers, and mbembe meaning water spirit or living creature. Descriptions of Mokele-mbembe vary, but it is often depicted as a large, long-necked, and semi-aquatic creature, landing comparisons with the sauropod dinosaur or kind of looking like Nessie, which we were also talking about earlier. The creature is said to have a smooth, grayish brown or reddish brown skin and a long neck that is sometimes compared to that of a giraffe. Reports also suggest that Mokele-mbembe is herbivorous and dwells in deep river channels, hidden lakes, or remote swampy areas. The legend of Mokele-mbembe has persisted for many years among the indigenous people of the Congo region and has captivated the interest of cryptozoologists and adventurers. However, there is no evidence at all supporting the existence of creature, and it's all just hearsay from the culture of the indigenous people. Expeditions and investigations to find Mokele-mbembe have been conducted, but they did not yield any conclusive evidence. De-extinction. De-extinction, or resurrection biology, explores the possibility of reviving extinct species or traits through advanced genetic engineering and cloning technologies. The approaches to de-extinction include selective breeding, cloning using preserved DNA, and genetic engineering techniques like CRISPR-Cas9. The idea is very complex and too much for me to even try to, interpret. But anyways, one method involves selectively breeding living species with traits resembling those of extinct species, attempting to recreate these traits over generations of time, but this would obviously take a very, very, very long time and generations of different animals to get there. But there's other methods, such as cloning. Cloning relies on preserved DNA from extinct organisms, but the success of this approach depends on the quality of the preserved genetic material. So it's not like we can get decent DNA from a super old Tyrannosaurus Rex thing, but we can get pretty decent DNA from a woolly mammoth that only died about 12,000 years ago, especially for ancient or degraded specimens. Genetic engineering offers a more direct approach by editing the DNA of living organisms to express traits similar to those of extinct species. Despite the technological possibilities, de-extinction faces numerous challenges such as ethical concerns surrounding the potential disruptions to ecosystems, unintended ecological consequences, and questions about resource allocation, and just kind of the question about playing God and bringing something back to life. The ecological impact of reintroducing extinct species or traits is uncertain, as ecosystems may have adapted during the absence of these species. But what do you think? Is it a good idea to kind of play Jurassic Park in real life and bring back the woolly mammoth or other kind of dinosaur age things? Who knows? Let me know down in the comments what you think. I think it's kind of a cool idea, and I think it'd be cool to see a woolly mammoth sometime in my life. But I don't know. What's your guys' opinion down below? Fake Brontosaurus. The term of the fake Brontosaurus refers to a historical issue in paleontology related to the misclassification and renaming of a dinosaur species. The Brontosaurus, a well-known dinosaur, became the subject of controversy and confusion in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. In 1879, paleontologist Othniel Charles Marsh described a new dinosaur species and named it Apatosaurus jax. 2 years later, in 1881, he described another dinosaur and named it Brontosaurus exelusus. However, in 1903, paleontologist Elmer Riggs argued that the Apatosaurus and the Brontosaurus were actually the same species, with Apatosaurus being the valid name. According to the rules of scientific nomenclature, the first name given to the species has priority. So Apatosaurus took precedence over Brontosaurus, and for much of the 20th century, paleontologists used the name Apatosaurus, and the name Brontosaurus fell out of favor. However, in 2015, a comprehensive study led by paleontologist Emmanuel Tishop and colleagues suggested that they were actually given differences between the two specimens to warrant maintaining the distinction. Consequently, Brontosaurus was reinstated as a valid genus. This reclassification brought the iconic name Brontosaurus back into mainstream use. Tiktaalik. Tiktaalik, a pivotal fossil discovery in the Canadian Arctic in 2004, stands as a remarkable testament to the evolutionary transition from fish to tetrapods during the late Deviant period around 375 million years ago. Possessing both fish-like and tetrapod-like characteristics, Tiktaalik represents a crucial intermediary in the evolutionary journey from aquatic to terrestrial environments. So this is kind of the time when, all those memes when like the fish is walking out of the water. This is kind of the real-life version of this. In terms of fish features, Tiktaalik displayed scales, fins, and gills, marking its aquatic heritage. However, what makes Tiktaalik particularly significant is the presence of a tetrapod-like features. It possessed a neck, a feature absent in most fish, and its fins had wrist-like structures and robust pectoral fins capable of supporting some of its body weight. The most noteworthy aspect is its limb-like fins, exhibiting a structure intermediate between fish fins and the limbs of later tetrapods. These fins featured a series of bones akin to the upper arm, forearm, and primitive elements of the hand. The name Tiktaalik, derived from the Inuit language, translates to large freshwater fish. Its discovery has filled a crucial gap in the fossil record, offering unparalleled insights into the anatomical transformations that occurred during the evolutionary shift from aquatic to terrestrial life. Fake Triceratops. According to paleontologists, the renowned famous Triceratops dinosaur was actually never an independent species, but rather actually just a juvenile form of the rarer Torosaurus. So the Triceratops was never an actual dinosaur, it was just the baby version of another one. Researchers John Scannella and Jack Horner from the Museum of the Rockies in Montana suggest that the Triceratops was likely a younger stage of the Torosaurus. While both species shared similarities, such as 3 horns and a distinct head frill, the Torosaurus displayed variations in horn and ridge shape, with the ridge being smoother and thinner and also possessing 2 holes. Examining 29 Triceratops skulls, the scientists observed thinning bone in the same area as the Torosaurus holes, alongside growth ring analysis revealing the youth of all the specimens. Given the absence of juvenile Torosaurus specimens, they concluded that the dinosaurs were actually the same species and the same thing, with horn and ridge morphology changing as the creature matured. This study, published in the Journal of Vertebrate Paleontology, suggests that the neck frill and horns underwent shape alterations during adulthood due to their spongy nature, remaining soft until maturity. Scannella remarked that even in mature specimens, the skull showed significant changes at death. Previously thought to serve as a defensive armor, the neck frill is now believed to signify maturity rather than protection. So yeah, the Triceratops actually doesn't really exist, and it's just another version of the Torosaurus, but most people will keep knowing the Triceratops as the Triceratops since that's just the more famous name and more recognizable. Alright, now on to tier 4, and I've done a lot of research for this one, but I haven't seen any sort of credible evidence for this anywhere. But this one entry is being humans and dinosaurs lived together, and that's just not true because dinosaurs became extinct around 66 million years ago, and the Homo genius, which is a modern human, appeared much later, around 2 to 3 million years ago, and that's just the very, very early stages of humans. So if you count woolly mammoths and other sort of things like that as, dinosaurs, then sure, they live together, but humans and the T-Rex have never lived together, period. Unless I'm missing something, but yeah, comment down below if I'm missing something and actually humans existed a lot earlier than they did. I don't know. Just let me know because I'm interested. And another one that's pretty similar to the last one, of dinosaurs existing with humans, and this one is also just not true to my furthest knowledge and research. The Megalodon is not existing anymore. It's dead. It died about 23 to 3.6 million years ago during the Cenozoic era. Fossils and scientific evidence indicate that the Megalodon went extinct long before the appearance of modern humans, and some conspiracy theories and theories suggest that the Megalodon lives deep within the Mariana Trench or just deep within the ocean, but there's really no evidence to support that because the Megalodon would need to eat so much food, and that would be obviously seen by people in the ocean. A lot of fish would be needing to be eaten to keep up with the megalodon's size. And the megalodon doesn't exist, unless I don't know. I've done a lot of research on this, but I don't think the megalodon exists. Chickenosaurus. Chickenosaurus is a term used to refer to the concept in paleogenetics and genetic engineering popularized by the scientist and author Jack Horner. While the Chickenosaurus seems kind of like a joke, it's actually a term used by scientists. The idea involves attempting to reverse engineer a bird, particularly a chicken, to express traits reminiscent of its dinosaurian ancestors, such as those of the velociraptor or other non-avian dinosaurs. The scientific rationale behind these concepts is based on the evolutionary relationship between birds and certain theropod dinosaurs, suggesting that birds are the modern descendants of a small, feathered dinosaurs, so most likely any chicken you see is actually a descendant of a T-Rex or a velociraptor, which is kind of crazy. Paleontologists have discovered numerous similarities in the autonomy and genetics of birds and dinosaurs, reinforcing the concept of avian evolution. Jack Horner, a paleontologist who served as a consultant for the Jurassic Park film series, has also been a proponent of exploring the genetic engineering and basis for dinosaur traits within living birds. The idea is to activate dormant or suppressed ancestral traits encoded in the avian genome, potentially resulting in bird embryos expressing characteristics reminiscent of their dinosaurian ancestors. While the concept is intriguing and captures the public's imagination every time it's brought up, the practical and ethical challenges associated with it, such genetic engineering, are immense, and it's most likely not going to happen for at least a long time because it requires a lot of funding and also a lot of just kind of things to get through because there are a lot of ethical complexities that people wouldn't agree with. Frozen mammoth. The concept of a frozen mammoth typically refers to the discovery of a well-preserved mammoth carcasses in the frozen tundra of Siberia and other northern regions. These discoveries are notable because the freezing temperatures and permafrost can really slow down the decomposition process, leading to the remarkable preservation of soft tissues, fur, and even, in some cases, blood. The most famous example in the discovery of the Yucca mammoth in 2010 is the Siberian Yucatan region. Yucca is estimated to have lived about 39,000 years ago and was remarkably well preserved. The carcass had some intact internal organs, a trunk with hair, and even liquid blood in the permafrost. Tier 5. Chinese dragon bones. Residents of a Chinese village stumbled upon a deceased dragon, sparking debates over the existence of such a mythical creature. The skeleton, which spanned over 60 feet long with peculiar small arms and a skull resembling that of a cow, was discovered in a field of Zhangjiakou City, Hebei Province in China. In contrast to Western depictions, Chinese dragons are wingless and traverse the skies by swimming through the sky, akin to serpents. The autonomy of the skeleton led some locals to speculate its authenticity. Footage captured by witnesses depicts a crowd of villagers inspecting the remains, with a faction entertaining the notion of a mythical origin. And the video is on screen, and it kind of looks real-ish, but it could also be kind of fake. And skeptics on Chinese social media suggested the possibility of it just being a deliberate fabrication, potentially for cinematic purposes or some sort of film, and speculation rose further when images surfaced of villagers posing atop the skeleton, prompting suspicions of a hoax. Despite the lack of any sort of confirmation from local authorities, the video has garnered over 10 million views and it's been pretty popular, but it's most likely a hoax and not an actual dragon. Dinosaurs live. No, not really. Dinosaurs live is kind of true because birds are actually a direct descendant of carnivorous dinosaurs such as T-Rexes and velociraptors, and most likely the chicken, as we talked about earlier. So dinosaurs kind of do still exist, although not in the idea you would think with a big T-Rex walking around. It's actually just a chicken. And so dinosaurs are still kind of alive, but not really. Dinosaurs don't exist and never have existed. And this one, I'm just going to prove myself that's probably not true because there's so many fossils and things pointing to just evolution, showing that dinosaurs did exist at some point, but we will be covering kind of the conspiracist theory way of looking at dinosaurs weren't real. Now, we know that dinosaurs are most likely real, although many people do think they don't exist, and a good bulk of the conversation is religiously motivated, with many religious people believing that dinosaurs never existed because, such as Christianity, which is actually the top, with 250,000 people doubting dinosaurs, and they doubt it because the Bible does not show evolution, and other people think that dragons were the real dinosaurs, which makes less sense because why would you think dinosaur or dragons existed and dinosaurs didn't? And also, why and who put the dinosaur bones there? So just another, like, even if you don't believe that dinosaurs evolved from whatever or evolution didn't even exist, where did the bones come from and who put them there? And yeah, this is just kind of a goofy conspiracy theory, but if any of you down below actually believe that dinosaurs didn't exist, please comment down below. I'm very interested just to hear your theory about it, because I mean, I wouldn't criticize you or anything. I'm just genuinely interested on why you don't think dinosaurs existed. Dinosaurs killed by aliens. And sadly, I couldn't find any sort of information that aliens, like the alien humanoid looking thing, actually came down and killed dinosaurs. I didn't find anything on that, but I found things that were proving that wrong, so I'll just discuss that. A presentation at Utah State University's Prehistoric Museum showed that the extinction of dinosaurs couldn't have been caused by aliens, mainly because there's no trace of aliens or their artifacts in the fossil record, and there's just no sign that they came down to mass wipe out dinosaurs. Although, despite this, some more imaginative individuals have entertained such science fiction scenarios as aliens wiping out dinosaurs, as seen in the popular movie Pacific Rim. Also, in the past year, the television show Ancient Aliens dedicated an entire episode to this idea of aliens wiping out dinosaurs, drawing from misconceptions and falsehoods propagated by creationists to support the idea that extraterrestrials eradicated dinosaurs to pave the way for humanity. It's a fun idea, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's just probably not plausible. Tier 6. Oldest fossil ever. One significant discovery is that of microfossils found in western Greenland, known as stromatolites, which date back to approximately 3.7 billion years ago, so a long time ago. Stromatolites are layered structures formed by the activity of microbial communities, providing evidence of ancient life on Earth. These findings suggest the presence of early, single-celled organisms in the Archean eon. However, the search for the oldest fossil remains a dynamic field, and researchers are continually exploring rocks and formations around the world to uncover even older evidence of ancient life. New discoveries or refinements in dating techniques may contribute to updates in our understanding of the oldest fossils. And most likely, we will find another oldest fossil sometime because our technology for this stuff keeps getting better, and this is just the oldest fossil to date, the stromatolites. Purple Earth. The concept of a purple Earth refers to a stage in the history of our planet where photosynthetic organisms used pigments that absorb in the green part of the spectrum and reflect or emit light in the red and blue parts of the spectrum, making purple. This hypothetical scenario is often discussed in the context of astrobiology in the search for extraterrestrial life. On Earth today, plants predominantly use chlorophyll for photosynthesis, which absorbs light in the red and blue wavelengths and reflects green light, giving plants their green color. And the idea of the purple Earth suggests an alternative scenario where organisms evolved to use different pigments, and most likely they did use this at some point on Earth's history, so most likely Earth at some point was completely purple instead of blue and green. One of the pigments proposed for the purple Earth scenario is retinol, which absorbs light in the green part of the spectrum. Some bacteria on Earth use retinol-based pigments for photosynthesis, but they are not prevalent compared to the chlorophyll-based photosynthesis found on Earth today. Dickinsonia. Dickinsonia is an intriguing genus of organisms. It holds a significant place in the study of Earth's ancient history. Existing during the Adasian period, approximately 635 to 541 million years ago, Dickinsonia represents one of the earliest instances of large, multicellular life forms in the fossil record. What sets Dickinsonia apart is its soft-bodied structure, devoid of any sort of hard shell or skeleton, making it one of the most unique specimens for study. Its oval or elongated shape, often exhibiting segmentation in the flexibility of its body, are distinctive features that characterize this enigmatic organism. Fossils of Dickinsonia are preserved as imprints on the surface of sedimentary rocks, ranging in size from a few centimeters to over a meter. These imprints provide valuable insights into the morphology and structure of the Dickinsonia. The segmentation observed in its body has prompted discussions among paleontologists and its biological significance and its potential relationships with other life forms of its time. The discovery and analysis of Dickinsonia and other Adasian organisms contribute to our understanding of the early evolution of complex life on Earth. Tier 7. Do not research anything on this level, but I think I'll go ahead with researching it anyways since these aren't that bad. Dinosauroid. The term of dinosauroid typically refers to a hypothetical concept that explores what an intelligent, humanoid dinosaur might have looked like if dinosaurs have evolved to develop human-like intelligence. This concept is more speculative than actually scientific, and it often captures the imagination of both scientists and the public on what would have happened if dinosaurs evolved this way. The idea of the dinosauroid is influenced by the anthropomorphism of dinosaurs, envisioning them with human-like traits such as an upright posture, grasping hands, and a larger brain. The concept gained attention through the work of paleontologist Dale Russell, who, in the 1980s, proposed a speculative model for an intelligent, humanoid monster, or kind of dinosaur, but it kind of looks like a monster, based on the autonomy of a small dinosaur called Troodon. Russell's hypothetical dinosauroid was depicted with a bipedal stance, an enlarged brain case, forward-facing eyes, and grasping hands with opposable thumbs. The speculative model sparked discussions about convergent evolution and the factors influencing the development of intelligence in different evolutionary lineages. Coprolites. Coprolites, or fossilized feces, is a unique thing that allows scientists and paleontologists to look back into the ancient lives of dinosaurs and other organisms, which is a derived word from the Greek words for dung and stone, so, literally just fossilized feces. Coprolites are found in diverse geological formations, often associated with other fossils and trace fossils. Their composition varies based on the diet and digestive systems of the organisms that produce them, encompassing undigested food particles, bones, scales, and even more. The preservation of coprolites is influenced by environmental conditions, and the fossilization process may involve the replacement of organic material within minerals, resulting in a stony texture. They come in various sizes and shapes, reflecting the diversity of organisms responsible for the creation, ranging from small, pellet-like structures, kind of like rabbit feces, and more elongated forms. From a scientific perspective, coprolites are a really important thing, actually. They serve as a direct record of the behavior of these old dinosaurs and organisms. Through coprolite analysis, scientists can decipher dietary preferences, predator-prey relationships, and even the presence of parasites in past ecosystems. Coprolites have been discovered in association with various fossils, including those of dinosaurs, marine reptiles, and ancient mammals, contributing significantly to our understanding of ancient life and ecosystems. Platybelodon. The Platybelodon is an ancient proboscidean from the Miocene epoch, which was about 15 to 5 million years ago, and it stands out as a unique sort of animal with unique features. And just look at this guy. He looks pretty odd, to say the least. The most distinctive aspect of the Platybelodon is its shovel-shaped lower tusks, a remarkable adaptation that distinguishes itself from other elephant-like mammals of its time. These broad, flattened tusks are believed to have served various functions, including digging, stripping vegetation, or manipulating objects in its environment, similar to modern elephants. Platypelodon possessed a trunk or proboscis, although the exact details of its structure and use are not well understood. The presence of a trunk suggests adaptations for tasks such as grasping or feeding or possibly social interactions. Platypelodon was a large mammal, with some species comparable in size to modern elephants, so these guys were pretty big, indicating its role as a significant herbivore in various different ecosystems. Fossil evidence of the Platypelodon has been discovered in Asia, Africa, and Europe, so it's been all over the world. The genus contributes to our understanding of the diverse evolutionary history of proboscideans, a group that includes well-known members like elephants, mammoths, and mastodons. Tier 8. Herbivorous cave bear. The cave bear inhabited Europe and Asia during the Pleistocene era, and despite being a member of the order of Carnivora, which is mostly bears, it was primarily herbivorous. These large bears, comparable in size to modern Kodiak bears, displayed adaptations for a plant-based diet. Their skulls and teeth, particularly the broad molars, were well suited for grinding fruits, berries, nuts, and vegetation. Cave bears are often associated with caves, not necessarily because they exclusively lived in such environments, but because many of their remains have been found in caves. These locations served as natural traps where bears may have hibernated or died, leading to the accumulation of their remains over time. The herbivorous nature of cave bear distinguishes themselves from the typical image of a carnivorous bear. The shift to a plant-based diet reflects the Pleistocene environment's availability of vegetation, so there wasn't as much meat, but there was tons of vegetation to go around, and their large size likely played a role in sustaining such a diet. As megafauna as the Pleistocene era, cave bears experienced extinction around 24,000 years ago, with contributing factors possibly including climate changes, habitat shifts, and potential human influences during the transition to the Holocene era. Dinosaurs farted themselves to death. Yeah, pretty funny statement to claim how all dinosaurs died was farting themselves to death, but let me explain. Scientists say dinosaurs passed so much gas they affected climate enough to cause their demise. That's how Fox News and the Daily Mail, one of the first to move the story, framed this latest research. As it seems is always the case, though, a closer reading of the study released in the journal Current Biology reveals the reporting is just hot air. The AP has the right idea when it reports, quote, "A new study suggests that dinosaurs may have helped keep an already overheated world warmer with their flatulence and burps 200 million years ago," end quote. So the dino-killing asteroid is still the leading theory for their demise, but their farts, which this study found amounted to 520 million metric tons a year and 2,675 liters a day, were a key factor in the warm climate 150 million years ago, the BBC reports. Paul Myers, a biology professor at the University of Minnesota Morris, set the record straight on his blog. Quote, "No, dinosaurs did not fart themselves to death," he says, adding that he read the paper in full. Quote, "The researchers didn't say that at all. There was nothing about extinction in the paper. It would have been ridiculous, and I was prepared to dismiss such a claim without even reading the paper. The Jurassic lasted 55 million years, the Cretaceous 80 million, with dinosaurs farting away throughout. But the paper makes no such claim, instead suggesting that the mass of herbivores during the Mesozoic would have been a substantial but stable contribution of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere that may have been partially responsible for the warmer, moister climate of the era and the greater primary production." Researchers made the calculations by looking at modern animals to get an idea of how much gas would be produced by bacteria that lived in their gut. The bottom line, reports the BBC, is that cows today produce between 50 to 100 million metric tons a year, which sauropods, dinos, would have produced about 520 million metric tons a year. So dinosaurs didn't really fart themselves to death, and it's just kind of a popular headline and a kind of funny theory to think about. Megalodon teeth were for show, and I've done a decent amount of research for Megalodon teeth weren't actually for practical use, but just for show, and I haven't found any suggesting that Megalodon teeth were just for show and to scare off things, and that's just not true. So if any of you guys down and below in the comments know if Megalodon teeth were for show and any sort of credible evidence showing that they actually just used it as sort of like a intimidation technique, let me know and comment it down below. Smart aliens dinosaurs. Dinosaurs once roamed and ruled the earth. Is it possible that similar creatures may have evolved on another planet? A world that didn't get smacked by an asteroid, and later they developed to have human-like intelligent brains. So this is basically saying, like, what if somewhere out there there's dinosaurs that are smart? A recent paper discussing why the biochemical signature of life on Earth is so consistent in orientation somehow segued into the possibility that advanced versions of T-Rex and other dinosaurs may be the life forms that live on other worlds. The conclusion? Quote, "We would be better off not meeting them," said scientist Ronald Breslau, author of the paper. The building blocks of terrestrial amino acids, sugars, and the genetic materials DNA and RNA have two possible orientations, left or right, which mirror each other in what is called chirality. On Earth, with the exception of a few bacteria, amino acids have the left-handed orientation. Most sugars have a right-handed orientation. How did that homochirality happen? If meteorites carried specific types of amino acids to Earth about 4 billion years ago, that could have set the pattern, the left-handed chirality, in terrestrial proteins. Of course, Breslau said in a press release, showing that it could have happened this way, if not the same as showing that it did. An implication from this work is that elsewhere in the universe, there could be life forms based on D amino acids and L sugars. Such life forms could well be advanced versions of dinosaurs. If mammals did not have good enough fortune to have the dinosaurs wiped out by the asteroidal collision, as on Earth, but not everyone was impressed by the notion of dinosaurs from space. None of this has anything to do with dinosaurs, to be honest, wrote science author Brian Swiddick in the Smithsonian blog Dinosaur Tracking. Quote, "As much as I'm charmed by the idea of alien dinosaurs, Breslau's conjecture makes my brain ache. Our planet's fossil record has intricately detailed the fact that evolution is not a linear march of progress from one predestined waypoint to another. Dinosaurs were never destined to be. The history of life on Earth has been greatly influenced by just chance and luck and contingency, and dinosaurs are a perfect example of this fact." End quote. Alright, now on to tier 9, and this one starting off with creatures lost in the past. And I couldn't find an exact sort of reference to creatures lost in the past, but I think this is in reference to dinosaurs that never got fossilized, which actually, if you didn't know, fossilization is actually very, very rare inside of like the natural evolutionary sort of thing inside bones. So whenever a dinosaur dies, it has to be in perfect conditions for it to fossilize and be able to last long enough for humans to even look at it. So there's a lot of lost dinosaurs that were never fossilized. So there actually is probably tons and tons of creatures and dinosaurs and other sort of things that were just completely lost and forgotten because they were never able to fossilize. So who knows how many different species of dinosaurs there is and have existed, and we'll never know because they just disappeared or we just haven't found them yet. Life before the Big Bang. And at this point, it's kind of getting more like existential crisis iceberg that I covered, but life before the Big Bang. No one really knows, but inflation and seismic and universal inflation tells us that the period of time before the Big Bang was extremely cold, almost at absolute zero, and it was empty of everything but empty space. And that empty space carried energy that stretched the universe out to this enormous size and into the initial state before the Big Bang. But, you know, no one knows what even happened, but that's just a theory. Tier 10. Jellyfish fossils. Jellyfish, being a soft-bodied animals, do not have any sort of hard parts like shells or bones, and they are not commonly preserved as fossils. The chances of jellyfish fossilization are pretty low compared to organisms with actually hard structures that are more likely to leave a fossil record. However, under certain exceptional circumstances, jellyfish fossils can form. Fossilization of jellyfish typically involves rapid burial in fine sediment, preventing immediate decay and decomposition. In some instances, the sediment may solidify, creating a sort of cast or mold for the jellyfish body. The actual soft tissues of the jellyfish rarely fossilize, but their outlines or imprints may be preserved. Jellyfish fossils are often found in rocks dating back to the Cambrian period and onward. Some well-preserved jellyfish fossils have been discovered in Lagerstätten, which are geological deposits known for the exceptional preservation of soft tissues. For example, the Burgess Shale in Canada, and the Qingchang Biota in China, and Lagerstätten famous for preserving a variety of soft-bodied organisms, including jellyfish. Studying jellyfish fossils, even if they are rare, contributes to our understanding of the ancient marine ecosystems and the evolution of these weird gelatinous creatures over geological time. Alien octopus theory. How about frozen octopus eggs riding a meteor to Earth 540 million years ago? A paper published in the journal Progress in Biophysics and Molecular Biology looked into the origins of life here on the planet. A team of no less than 33 researchers explored several theories. The one that catches the eye is that cephalopods, namely squid, octopus, and cuttlefish, may have originated from somewhere other than Earth. Octopuses and their alien DNA, evidence of the role of extraterrestrial viruses in affecting terrestrial evolution, has recently been plausibly implied in the gene and transcriptome sequencing of cephalopods. They explain in the study, quote, "The genome of the octopus shows a staggering level of complexity with 33,000 protein-coding genes, more than is present in Homo sapiens," end quote. And here's the piece de resistance. The transformative genes leading from the consensus ancestral nautilus to the common cuttlefish, to squid, to the common octopus are not easily to be found in any sort of other pre-existing life forms. It is plausible then to suggest that they seem to be borrowed from a far distant future in terms of terrestrial evolution, or more realistically, from the cosmos at large. They offer the possibility that today's octopuses are the descendants of creatures that arrived on Earth frozen in an icy comet. Why the octopus in particular? Its large brain and sophisticated nervous system, camera-like eyes, flexible bodies, instantaneous camouflage via the ability to switch color and shape are just a few of the features that appear suddenly on the evolutionary scene. So this is just a very weird thing to see in nature, how the octopus has all of these things and none of these were seen in any other sort of thing leading up to the octopus and evolution there. This terrestrial evolution occurred thanks to the cytopreserved squid and or octopus eggs crashing into the ocean on comets several 100 million years ago. The researchers also give another explanation. An extraterrestrial virus infected a population of early squid, causing them to evolve rapidly into the octopuses we know today. Octopuses from space? Not so fast. Scientists have been quick to refute the claims. There's really no question, early biology is fascinating, but I think this, if anything, is counterproductive. Ken Steadman, an American virologist and professor of biology at Portland State University, told the news website Live Science. Many of the claims in this paper are beyond speculative, and not even really looking at the literature. Yet others weren't so tactful when describing the study. In her commentary published in the same journal, Karen Moling, a virologist at the Max Planck Institute for Molecular Genetics in Germany, concluded that the findings, quote, cannot be taken seriously. It's safe to say this won't be the last time the scientific community resurrects the theory that life arrived from faraway worlds and gave birth to some or all of the life forms on Earth. When 36 or so scientists from universities and institutes around the world now come out to build on those claims and attract global media coverage doing so, is it at least worth thinking about? And yeah, I actually really enjoyed that. That's why this was so much well structured, I would say. It's very interesting that some people think octopuses actually do come from space. And I mean, like, look on screen, just an octopus, they look super weird. Out of all the things on Earth, this would be the most plausible, in my opinion, to be an alien. Common ancestor of the octopus. Another octopus ones, but hey, octopuses are pretty interesting. The evolutionary history of octopuses is a subject of ongoing research and discussion. While the precise common ancestor of octopuses is not actually definitively identified, molecular and morphological evidence suggests that octopuses belong to the class of cephalopod, which also includes squids and cuttlefish. But that's just really interesting because octopuses literally don't have a common ancestor at all. They don't have any sort of proven evidence of a common ancestor for octopuses. So, I mean, come on. Maybe they're aliens. Who knows? Now, after doing some more research on this, I'm kind of convinced octopuses are aliens. And this is the last entry in the iceberg. So please, if you haven't commented already on the video, make sure you comment now. Let me know if you think octopuses are actually aliens, because that's pretty interesting to say the least. And all right, that wraps up the Paleontology Iceberg Explained. I really hope you enjoyed it because I enjoyed making it and researching it and voicing it. This was just a lot of fun. And I also got a new setup. So hope you know the difference, because I hope the mic sounds better because this mic's a lot more expensive. But I've been making every single video on my phone up to this point. And so now a lot of stuff will be higher quality, more videos out more often, just all of the above. The channel, big upgrade. And if you're still watching, 50 minutes in, thank you for sticking around. And if you're still watching, like and subscribe. I mean, you've been here long enough, and check out a few of my other videos. And yeah, thanks for watching. And until next time, see ya. And once again, thank you for Incogni for sponsoring this video.